Alexa, turn the heater on in the bathroom. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw in this video, we are looking at a smart wall-mounted space heater. That is pretty sweet. You know what though? Enough talk. Let's get right into this review. Here we have our Dreo smart wall heater. This is 1500 watts of heating power. They actually tell us that as a standalone or the primary heat in a room, it can heat 150 square feet. As a secondary heat source, it's good up to 750 square feet. That's all pretty impressive coming from a heater that's only 16 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and about 4.5 inches deep. Pretty cool. As per this review, this particular unit retails between $85 and $100. There is a unit that's about $120, and that one has a different plug on the end. They refer that one to as like the bathroom unit because it has like a GFC breaker built into the plug, where this one they consider for an office. That being said, I actually am going to be using this for a bathroom, but I will be plugging it into a GFCI outlet. We mentioned earlier this was a smart wall heater, so what we want to do is we want to add this to our app. We have the app open, so let's click Add Device. You can see right now that the app is going to be requesting some permissions. I'm going to give the permissions because it's not going to allow you to utilize the app without it. You notice that it found the heater right away, so let's click on that. Of course, it is installing our space heater already. That was pretty impressive. So now we're going to hook this up to our Wi-Fi. Now that we've connected it to our Wi-Fi, it's going to be connecting to the device. Look how fast that's moving through. In just under a minute, we saw that it actually uploaded to our app already. So let's hit next. We already know it's called a heater. We're going to hit done. Within our app, you can see that there's a whole lot of customizations. That's pretty cool. We will test some of that out later in the video, but let's go officially install this into our permanent location. I thought this was pretty cool. So Dreo included its very own template for you to install your space heater on the wall, but guess what? It has a built-in level. That is actually pretty cool. There are 4 different holes on either corner. You're supposed to just draw the holes on the wall, make sure it's level, then pre-drill the screws that they've included. And it's just as simple as that. We're going to go install it on our wall right now. We've leveled our template and drew a dot in the middle of all 4 holes. Now I'm going to take this down, screw in the screws, and then hang up our heater. It took a little finagling, but I was able to line up the screws with the supports on the back and slid it down into place. I do see that this cord is going to be hanging down on the right side. I kind of wish I could have done it right or left, but it does come down here on the right, so make sure you plan accordingly as far as your plug positioning. The screws from the template, as you noticed, are lower than the machine, and that's because you're supposed to add these little clips into the machine, and this just holds it to the wall. But it's important to pre-drill those holes first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on now just so I can make sure my heater does not get pulled off the wall. In just a matter of minutes, our clips are on, and this thing is safe. I've just connected an external thermometer to the Dreo unit because I want to check the temperature it's showing us on the app to the actual temperature of the room. This room is actually climate controlled through the house heater, except it is the furthest from the thermostat, so it always stays the coldest. As you can see, this is showing 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's pop open the app. As we can see from the app, it's actually showing us 65 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is pretty close to what this thermometer is showing, so I appreciate that. What we want to do, however, is we want to see if this will actually increase the temperature of this room. The current size in this room is 12 by 10. It's 120 square feet. Let's turn the unit on. You can see that we have it preset to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to keep the door to this bathroom closed. Let's see if they can raise the temperature of this room. I should say that the house furnace is set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, so this is set higher than the heat would actually reach in this room. The temperature range on this wall heater goes as low as 41 degrees Fahrenheit and as high as 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The unit does have a 30-degree manual adjusting oscillator right here. You can point it up, down, straight, wherever, but this is something that you can adjust manually. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to at least push the heat in a direction I want it to go, up or down. It's been about 10 minutes since we started this test. You can already see that this thermometer is showing us 2-degree increase, and on the app, we are actually showing 1-degree increase, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get a shot of the temperature that's actually coming out here. It's got 133 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's definitely keeping this room nice and toasty. An additional 3 minutes later, and our heater has actually shut off. I checked the app, and the app is showing us that the temperature it's seeing is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. You can see that this still shows 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's okay, because it definitely feels a lot warmer in here. I'm not too worried about the 3-degree temperature difference in the two different thermometers because it did get warm in here, and I appreciated that it shut off when it reached its preset temperature. It's been 5 minutes since this heater reached its temperature. It has not turned back on, but check this out. This thermometer is finally reaching 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so that just shows you that, you know what, this Dreo unit was correct. It just happened to be a little quicker than this thermometer. So, tell me, what are your thoughts of this Dreo wall-mounted space heater? Something that interests you? Is there another one out there that you like? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I've been showing you everything being utilized through the app on your phone, and that is cool, but you can also utilize all the same features right here on the unit itself. We have our power button. We have our mode selection button. Watch this. If I click this button, it's going to turn it to the fan mode only. Click it again, it's the heat mode. There are 3 different heat modes. So I'm on H2, I can push down to go to H1, I can push up to go to H3. Then of course there's the temperature mode, and I can increase that rate from here. This button right here, you can actually just set the heater to work for a period of time from 1 hour all the way up to 24 hours. Of course, you do have to cycle through the whole thing if you want to start over again. That can be pretty frustrating. Oops. Once we get to 24, it's going to reset back to nil. What I like having on is the eco mode, where it just sits at 70 degrees and it turns off when it reaches that temperature, and it turns back on when it needs to heat things back up again. If having the app and the controls right on the unit weren't enough, they also have an included remote control. Now there are 3 ways you can control your heater. For those of you that want to switch this from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you actually do that from the app. If you have the app pulled open just like I do now, the bottom right looks like that person. You're going to click on that. Then you're going to scroll down to where it says Settings. Of course, you want to scroll down to where it says Unit Preferences, and that's where you would change it between Fahrenheit and Celsius, if that's what you like. Then you can go back, and now the unit will be on Celsius. Of course, you see on the screen it's still showing Fahrenheit there, but your app shows it as Celsius. The directions on the app tell us in order to change the Fahrenheit to Celsius on the actual machine itself, you have to go into the device controls. I couldn't find anywhere in the instruction where that was. I'm going to reach out to the company. If I hear from them, I'm going to post that down in the description. Let's talk a little bit about power consumption. You can see that we're on heat 1 or H1. This uses 900 watts. If we go up to H2, that would bring you to 1300 watts. And of course, H3 brings you up to your maximum, which is 1500 watts. The manufacturers also implemented a child lock. If you push plus and minus for 3 seconds together, see how it's counting down? It's now put it on a child's lock, so nothing can be accessed. So to turn that off, we of course just click those 2 together again. Now it's unlocked. In this video, we are taking a look at the Dreo Smart Wall-Mounted Space Heater. So what do we think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. It retailed between $85 and $100, which is actually a pretty good deal, especially if your area that you need to heat is always cold, like my bathroom is. I thought that the setup was very quick and easy. I appreciated that they came with a template that had its very own built-in level. It made it almost foolproof. I appreciate that there are 3 different ways to operate this machine, either on it, utilizing the remote control, or utilizing the app. They're all very convenient, and I appreciated how easy it was to run. As we saw in this video, it does a really great job heating up a space. I was really impressed that that bathroom got as warm as it did in as short of a period of time. That to me is very important when it comes to heating a space. I'm appreciative that you could use this as a standalone heater or as a supplementary heat source, because sometimes those rooms just get a little cooler and you want to make sure you heat everything evenly. This does put out a fair amount of wind, and so I grabbed my anemometer just so I can show you. Check how quickly that thing climbs up. And now this is a heater, mind you. It's not necessarily a fan, although it does have a fan option, but it's putting out over 6.6 miles per hour on the wind speed. That's pretty impressive. It really does push the heat through your room pretty fast. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Dreo Smart Wall-Mounted Space Heater. It actually reminded me of another review I did not that long ago of Mr. Heater's Buddy. This one actually runs on propane. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link up that review right over here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you right here. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.